A solemn mule, a solemn mule, a solemn. Today we're inside Volkswagen's official showroom, and right behind me is the brand new 2026 Volkswagen T-Rock. It's bigger, it's sharper, it's more premium, and it's absolutely packed with technology. Aj hum, Iska, full walk-around and interior tours, a tech demo, our first drive impressions, and of course, the final verdict, deck henge. Alright, let's start with the exterior. And this new T-Rock might look familiar, but the biggest change is something you can't actually see, because this version is no longer based on the Golf platform. It now uses the Tiguan's larger MQB platform. Now what does that mean for you? Well, it means a 3 cm longer wheelbase and a 12 cm longer body overall. That translates directly into improved rear space, a much bigger boot capacity, and greater stability and comfort on the road. We'll test that last part out later. Now, looking at the front details, this R-Line model we have here is the one you want for that aggressive, sporty look. It gives you this stunning full-width LED light bar that connects the headlights. It's an illuminated VW badge right in the center. And these incredibly advanced Matrix IQ LED headlights that can intelligently adapt to traffic. You also get this black styling package and these really aggressive lower air intakes. Honestly, it really gives off some Baby Urus vibes, you know, Thotis a Lamborghini touch. It's a very assertive and modern design that looks fantastic on the road. Moving around to the side profile, you'll immediately notice the wheels. These are the largest wheels ever fitted to a T-Rock from the factory, massive 20-inch black alloys that are exclusive to the R-Line. They fill the arches perfectly and add to that sporty stance. Up top, you'll see these new aerodynamic roof slats and recessed roof rails. They aren't just for looks. They're designed to reduce wind noise at high speeds and improve overall efficiency. It's these little details that make a big difference in the driving experience. The side profile is sleek, muscular, and really well proportioned thanks to that longer wheelbase. And then we come to the rear. The modern design language continues here with another full-width rear light bar and a second illuminated badge, which looks absolutely brilliant at night. The bumper design is much cleaner and more sophisticated than before. And thank God, no fake exhausts. The real exhaust pipe is neatly hidden underneath, which is the honest and classy way to do it. Overall, the new T-Rock's exterior is a massive step up. It's more imposing, more premium, and in this R-Line spec, it looks properly athletic. But not everyone wants the super sporty look, and Volkswagen knows that. So let's have a look at the other trim levels. This one here is the Life trim, which Volkswagen says will be the best seller, and you can see why. It looks a bit more subtle, a bit more mature. It comes with smaller 18-inch wheels, which will likely give you an even more comfortable ride. Instead of the black pack, you get these elegant satin chrome accents around the windows and on the grille. The front grille itself has a different, less aggressive pattern, and the whole design is geared more towards comfort and everyday practicality. So, to put it simply, the R-Line is for those who want a sporty, young, and dynamic look, while the Life trim is perfect for those looking for a practical, comfortable, and family-friendly daily driver. Now for one of the most important comparisons, old versus new. Let's be honest, the interior of the old T-Rock was decent, but it was starting to feel a little outdated. You had this Plankton infotainment screen that looked like an afterthought. The material quality was just okay. And you had this big, old-fashioned gear knob taking up space in the center console. It was functional, but it didn't feel particularly special. Now, stepping into the new model, this is a huge step up. The first thing you notice is the infotainment system. It's bigger, it's sharper, and it's beautifully integrated into the dashboard, creating a clean, seamless look. The overall dashboard design is much cleaner and more minimalist. The quality of the materials is a massive improvement. Soft-touch plastics, nice textures, and solid-feeling switchgear everywhere. You also get this beautiful ambient lighting that you can customize, and a fully digital cockpit as standard. But there is one thing. Climate controls are now fully integrated into the touchscreen. MATLAB, it looks clean, but it can be a little bit annoying to use while you're driving. Okay, let's talk about the single biggest advantage of this new platform, the advanced driving tech. The new T-Rock can now do some seriously clever things. For example, it can perform assisted lane changes on the motorway with just a tap of the indicator. It can also park itself using your mobile phone app, so you can guide it into a tight spot while standing outside. And this is the killer feature. it can record your parking maneuver. So, you perform a tricky parking maneuver once, let's say, into your tight garage. At home you press save, and from the next time, the car will repeat that exact routine on its own. Don't even have to be inside the car. You can just stand outside and watch it work its magic. This is technology that was reserved for top-of-the-line luxury cars just a few years ago, and now it's in the T-Rock. Of course, we had to push it to its limits. We set up this extreme test with an ultra-tight gap to see if the automated parking could handle it, and the car failed. Computer said no. But to be fair, there was a good reason. The system requires at least 20 centimeters of clearance on each side of the mirrors to operate safely. We were well within that margin, so while it couldn't perform the impossible, it's reassuring to know the safety parameters are built-in and conservative. It's smart enough to know when not to try. Now, what about what's under the bonnet? You have a few great engine options. The range starts with a 1.5-liter turbo petrol, which you can get with either 116 horsepower or, like our test car, a more powerful 150 horsepower version. If you need more grunt and all-wheel drive, there's a 2.0-liter turbo with 204 horsepower. The big news is the introduction of new self-charging hybrid models available with 140 or 204 horsepower, which should be incredibly efficient. And for the performance junkies, fire-breathing T-Rock with 333 horsepower is coming soon. That thing is going to be an absolute rocket ship. As for our 150 horsepower model, Volkswagen claims a 0 to 100 time of 8.9 seconds.
Ow.
We did a few runs, and our average was 8.75 seconds. That's pretty good for a 1.5-liter family SUV. So, the big question, is the new Volkswagen T-Rock worth buying? Let's break it down. On the plus side, it looks way more modern and premium. The interior is a massive upgrade in terms of design, quality, and technology. It has some genuinely game-changing tech features. And thanks to the new platform, it offers more space, more comfort, and a proper premium feel that was missing from the old car. The downsides? Well, those touchscreen climate controls are a bit of a fumble, and yes, the price is increased to reflect all these upgrades. But overall, this is by far the best T-Rock. So let's jump inside the new Volkswagen T-Rock, and the first thing you'll notice is this major tech upgrade. The screen lights up, and you now get full widescreen Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. It's wireless, of course, and super responsive. Then there's the digital cockpit, which is fully configurable. You can change the layouts, adjust the information you see, customize the widgets. It's all very clean and modern. And for the first time ever in a Volkswagen, you get a dash-mounted head-up display. That's something we've usually seen in premium brands, now available right here. Volkswagen has finally stepped up its interior game. There are soft touch materials on the upper parts of the doors, nicer fabrics. And overall, it just feels more premium than the previous model. There's also an interesting new detail. The door handle release is now placed lower, which is a more natural angle. You can even push the door open with your elbow. Smart thinking. But I have to say, the inner grab handle still feels a bit cheap, a little plasticky to the touch. Now, check this out. VW has given the ambient lighting an interesting twist. This button right here controls the volume, the drive modes, and something called atmospheres. This new mode links your ambient lighting and your Spotify playlists to match the mood of the cabin. Do we really need this? But I have to admit, inactive mode remains my favorite. It's just a nice, clean look. Let's talk about the steering wheel. Thankfully, we still get physical buttons here, not those annoying touch-sensitive ones. Thank you, Volkswagen, for listening. The gear selector has also moved to the steering column. What's the result of that? Well, there's no big gear knob in the center console anymore, which gives you a lot more space for storage. Down here, you now get a wireless charging pad, and it's a cooled wireless charging pad, which is a really nice touch. There are also properly integrated USB-C ports, deep configurable storage with movable dividers, and an adjustable armrest with even more storage below. They've even hidden a fun little Easter egg tiny swimmers inside the cooling channels, which they call swimming lanes. And yes, I'm told there's another one hidden somewhere else in the car. The R-Line seats use a mix of suede, leatherette, and cloth, giving them a sporty look and a comfortable feel. For those with kids, Isofix points are available, making child seats super easy to fit. The door bins are large, and the glove box is nicely damped. Golf has it, and this car is more expensive, so that feels a bit disappointing. Moving to the rear seats, The new TROC has 3 centimeters more wheelbase, and that's really improved comfort back here. Knee room is excellent, headroom is good, and foot space is great. If we compare it to the old car, there's slightly more headroom, but slightly less knee room. Overall, though, the packaging feels better. So, let's do the 3-person test. With 3 adults back here, it does get tight, especially with the center transmission hump. Our friend Andy, who's 1.87 meters tall, fits, but barely. He says it's fine, but then again, he works for Volkswagen, so... Yeah, the good news is that, even for taller passengers, legroom remains quite good. Rear features on this R-Line model include rear climate control, 2 USB-C ports, windows that drop all the way down, a central armrest with cue folders, and a through-loading slot for long items, which is actually rare in this segment. Space has increased from 445 liters to 475 liters. The seat belts are also kept separate, so they never snag when you're folding the seats down. Speaking of which, you get 3-way folding rear seats that create a continuous low flat load floor. And if you buy the Life trim, the front passenger seat even folds flat, letting you carry very long items. Here's a small but interesting change from the old TROC. The previous model had this clever weighted cord system for the parcel shelf. It kept it from flopping around and rattling. It has a cheaper, simpler string. It's a minor detail, but it's an example of cost cutting, especially when you consider that the entry-level versions now cost more than the previous model. Now you might be thinking that 30,000 pounds is a lot for a car of this size. And honestly, for the same money, you could get a used Volkswagen T-Rock, which is a much larger and more premium SUV. If you go that route though, always do a proper vehicle history check. Things like mileage rollback, hidden accident damage, or outstanding finance issues can turn a bargain into a nightmare. It all matters. Finally, let's talk about what's underneath, because Volkswagen made some huge engineering upgrades. All models now get independent rear suspension, revised springs and dampers, and a wider track. The front suspension arms are even borrowed from the Passat. What does all that mean on the road? It results in a much more refined, more planted, and more comfortable drive. It really is a noticeable improvement. So how does all that translate out on the road? Well, the first thing to note is that visibility is generally pretty good. You sit reasonably high up and you can jack the driver's seat quite a way up as well, which really helps you judge where the corners of the car are. You've got a decent rear view mirror, a large back window, and big door mirrors. That's all good. The steering is nice and light, which is super helpful when you're maneuvering around town. The only thing is that sometimes this automatic gearbox and engine combo can be a little bit delayed when you put your foot down. It does have a mild hybrid system, so a small electric motor is supposed to give it a bit of oomph to prevent hesitation. But it's definitely not as quick off the mark as a pure electric car or a plug-in hybrid. That's always been the challenge with this 1.5-liter engine paired with the automatic gearbox, but honestly, it's livable. What's really livable, though, is the suspension. This car has adaptive dampers, and right now I've got them in the softest setting. Going over bumps, it is wonderful. It makes the car feel so much bigger and more premium than it actually is. That's one of the benefits of it sharing a platform with the larger Tiguan. Now let's try the stiffest setting. Okay, even the sporty setting is still pretty laid back. It would be interesting to try that on a proper twisty road. Over bumps, it's still great. Switching back to the soft setting, yeah, you can definitely notice the difference. It's a choice between comfortable and superbly comfortable. You decide which one you want. All right, let's try a U-turn. And this looks like a pretty tricky spot perfect. Gotta avoid the curb. And there we go. That is seriously maneuverable. This car is absolutely brilliant in town. Now, while the car is agile enough to avoid bumps and scrapes, I can't exactly say the same about my own body. Ow. Okay. So now I've jumped into a car that does not have that adaptive chassis control. Straight away, you can feel it's not quite as cushioning. Over bumps, it's still good by most standards, don't get me wrong, but it's just not as plush. But if I had the option and the budget for it, I'd probably take them. Speaking of which, if you want to check the latest lease deals on the T-Rock, we've got some fantastic options on CarWow right now. Just follow the link in the description below, click the pop-out banner up there, or you can even scan the QR code on your screen. Now, out on faster roads and motorways, that impressive visibility and comfort are still here. I'm on a windy bridge, cruising at 60 miles per hour, and there's hardly any wind noise. The auto cruise control handles the sideways gusts really well and keeps the car perfectly centered in the lane. You can even do assisted lane changes. You just activate it in the driver assistance menu, engage the adaptive cruise control, flick on your indicator, and the car checks the traffic before smoothly moving into the next lane for you. Pretty clever stuff. What about fuel economy? Volkswagen claims you can get between 47 and 51 miles per gallon on a steady cruise at around 80 to 90 kilometers per hour. The best I managed was 6.5 liters per 100 kilometers. That's a little below the official claims, even with the mild hybrid system helping out. And just like that, it started raining, which means the roads are getting greasy. Time for a brake test from 60 miles per hour. That took about 40 meters to stop, which just shows you need to be a little extra cautious in the rain. Let's see how it handles on some bends. I've switched it into sports mode, which stiffens up that suspension. It feels really flat and composed through the corners. It's got that classic VW-like balance between handling and comfort. It's competent, capable, and perfectly balanced. It's not a huge amount of fun, but it's more than capable for what you need. The gear shifts are smart, just a little slow when you're pulling away at low speeds. If you do want something sportier, check out the link or the QR code on screen for an alternative. So, what's my final verdict on the new Volkswagen T-Rock? Should you avoid it, consider it, shortlist it, or just go right ahead and buy it? I reckon you should shortlist the T-Rock. It's a practical family car that looks cool and is genuinely nice to drive every day. It strikes a great balance between practicality, comfort, and technology, making it an excellent choice for families, city driving, and those weekend trips. The T-Rock isn't the sportiest car in its class, but it delivers confidence, reliability, and an ease of use that most drivers really want. So if you're looking for a well-rounded, stylish, and practical compact SUV, the new Volkswagen T-Rock definitely deserves a spot on your shortlist. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more car reviews.